that sugar sweet. You got what I need. Sipping on the potion, all that good emotion. Just my kind of heat. Keep it on repeat. Destined by the potion. Loving this devotion. Live it up, live it up, live it up, sweet emotion. Every time, every night, you and I on a roll. Switch it up, switch it up, switch it up where I'm going. Stay on the fly, just in time, know the right way to go. I'm on the road, it's my time, taking control of my life. I want to run the red lights, I've got to run this show. You always take me so high, you always make the highlights. I love the way we vibe, you're like a centerfold. Ooh, that sugar sweet, you got what I need. Sipping on the potion, all that good emotion. Just my kind of heat, keep it on repeat. Destined by the potion, loving this devotion. Ooh, that sugar. All I want is satisfaction. Make a move, baby, you got nothing to lose. Give me that, give me that, give me that good reaction. Gonna make it right, little like an offer I can't refuse. I'm on the road, it's my time, taking control of my life. I want to run the red lights, I've got to run this show. You always take me so high, you always make the highlights. I love the way we vibe, you're like a centerfold. Ooh, that sugar sweet, you got what I need. Sipping on the potion, all that good emotion. Just my kind of heat, keep it on repeat. Destined by the potion, loving this devotion. Ooh, that sugar Ooh, that sugar Ooh, that sugar sweet, you got what I need. Sipping on the potion, all that good emotion. Just my kind of heat, keep it on repeat. Destined by the potion, loving this devotion. Ooh, that sugar, just my kind of heat. Ooh, that sugar. Sipping on the potion, all that good emotion. Ooh, that sugar sweet, you got what I need. Sipping on the potion, all that good emotion. Just my kind of heat, keep it on repeat. Destined by the potion, loving this devotion. Live it up, live it up, live it up, sweet emotion. Every time, every night, you and I on a roll. Switch it up, switch it up, switch it up where I'm going. Stay on the fly, just in time, know the right way to go. I'm on the road, it's my time, taking control of my life. I want to run the red lights, I've got to run this show. You always take me so high, you always make the highlights. I love the way we vibe, you're like a centerfold. Ooh, that sugar sweet, you got what I need. Sipping on the potion, all that good emotion. Just my kind of heat, keep it on repeat. Destined by the potion.
Good morning. Morning, folks. Hope you are well. Happy, what day is it today? Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Hope you guys are trading well and trading safe on a relatively slowish start. Not for my trade, but slowish start to the week, fundamental-wise, news-wise. And it continues today. So the only really big ticket news coming out of the US at 4:30 UAE time is building permits in for May, coming out 4:30, as I said, UAE time. But still relatively news light. Powell testifying tomorrow, which people will be waiting for. We got a holiday. We've had the holiday. Thursday, Bank of England interest rate decision, so that is obviously important, and it does get a little bit more heavy as the week goes on, as is usually expected. But in terms of today, that is something to watch out for at 4:30. Right, let's get into the market. Relatively shorter stream today, but let's look at the markets. I've got to go and get my suit fitted for my brother's wedding. So we're doing that this morning. I was hoping to have lost a little bit more weight. However, hey ho, still what it is. I'm going in the right direction. Hey Leon. Okay, S&P, we are pulling back still. From a 4-hour perspective, nothing's telling me yet that the pullback is complete. I think it's probably best to look at this from a daily perspective. We did have that inverted hammer yesterday. And we're getting some movement down, which really, again, is this massively worrying you from yesterday? A really nothing day. Again, today there's still the full day of price action to go, so we can't take too much notice of this particular bar thus far. But yeah, we're in pullback mode. You know, it's the analysis remains the same. Possibly a 20-period catch up here. We are back to that 20 on the 4-hour. You know, we are at an area on smaller time frames. If you're just looking at smaller time frames, you say, right, we could move, i.e. we're digested from that latest impulse. But I think maybe daily is the best place. Now, as I said, if you get something like this on the 4-hour, then yeah, okay, that would be obviously pretty good. You'd probably say, well, is this pullback, lowering volume into this pullback? But that may be on account of very little fundamental drivers coming in. However, the bias is still up. Let's see how London opens today, but my overall bias is waiting for that daily catch-up, possibly that daily retest. I'm not sure if we get that far down. Just looking at what it is doesn't mean it can't happen, but I'm not sure if we come back here and retest it. Maybe you'd expect it from a weekly standpoint, considering it is a key level. So maybe from a weekly standpoint, you could say, do we come back and retest it? Possibly. Let's just see how price action continues on. We'll watch that 4-hour, but I think a daily pullback is my personal bias. Right, dollar today. Dollar today is very similar to the S&P, right? We're possibly in pullback mode in these indices and in this index. You know, do we look at this from a daily as well? I don't think it's as needed in terms of a dollar pullback as it is with the S&P. But we could see it. We've got 1-2 days. Again, price action is really doing not much. I think the bias still remains down. Looking for reasons to enter the dollar short makes sense. And we can kind of clearly see what we're in here. It doesn't take a genius to work out we're in this. It is ready to go, in my opinion. If we break out of it, yeah, I think a good time to short the dollar. If it continues on in that vein, maybe we could see that daily little digestion rather than smaller time frames. However, I do think it's in a better position. You're kind of getting price action here on the 30-minute, which doesn't look too bad. So if you're looking at setups in the dollar today, I don't think it's a bad call looking at it, looking short, and certainly with where we are. You know, we could be on the right side of another impulse to the downside. I personally don't have any dollar setups on my watch list, but if you are looking at dollar shorts, I don't, sorry, my dog just moved something. I don't actually mind that. So overall bias remains down for the dollar, looks a little bit better and possibly a bit more ready to move than the S&P, but I don't need to pick it out. I don't have perfect timing, but dollar down, index up, as it has been for quite some time. Okay, watch this today. GN is obviously still in. Now, the good thing here is we have created an anchor or a possible anchor, unless we do this in terms of our red bar, which I mean, can happen, but probably unlikely. This 4-hour closing at 1 p.m. So that is 10:30, 11, 12, 2.5 hours from now. If we do not breach these lows, then I will move my stop to find the exact number, roughly around 2.056. I'll move my stop up there, guarantee a little bit of profit, and again, not massively squeezing it. Hopefully we continue on. And from a daily perspective, as I always say, the reason I take these trades, or my premise of my trades, is they can run and run and run. And we have had that pullback. We're looking to do something like this, which would be perfect. If we get a pullback here on 4 hour, on smaller time frames, okay, that's fine. Obviously, it doesn't have to run and run if it doesn't want to do that. We are at a key level at these highs, so we may get some resistance coming in, which you'd probably expect. But yeah, still looking good. So my stop will be moved here. If we do get another pullback, obviously I'll just continue doing it. And if we have that trend, the path of least resistance is still up, and I still like the trade. So yeah, we're seeing some movement down. Let's see how far it goes, but ultimately it doesn't really matter, right? It's in now. Whatever will happen, I just stick to my plan, and that's what I do day in, day out. Right, Euro NZD. Euro NZD was, I was looking at this, right? And I think even though I liked it, you know, I had my initial level down here. It became a little bit messy with price action. So I said, well, is this the area that we're probably more respecting? And I feel a bit more comfortable with that. So I didn't put my breakout order in. That's, you know, that's fine. We've got our squeeze in. We've got our break now. So I think I'm more comfortable looking for a breakout retest, catalyst, increasing volume here, if indeed we get it. So I'm a bit more comfortable with that to the breakout. If someone had said I've taken an EN breakout, I wouldn't have minded it. There was just something in regards to, have I got the correct level here? Are we really respecting here? Or, you know, in which case price action did seem a little bit more messy, but I think this is probably a bit more key here, which we have now broken out of. So if we decide to come up to B wave and push on, which, you know, we tagged into there here, you know, maybe there's another possibility in terms of this, but I don't want to talk too much about that right now. Let's more focus on a possible retest of this zone, catalyst to entry to go continuation to the upside. Bit more comfortable, bit more, you know, it's like riding a bike with a helmet. You got a bit more protection with that breakout retest, and certainly from a 4 hour chart perspective. So EN, I still like looking for the retest. Oil. Oil's another one which I didn't actually put on my Discord watch list. I don't believe. Yeah, no, I was doing my I was thinking about it, and then I didn't do it, and I thought, well, I'll just discuss it anyway. So oil, obviously on a downtrend. I don't mind where the weekly is. Similar with UK Brent, where we're seeing a bit of strength coming into this possible third or fourth structure. But if the path of least resistance does ring true, and we do get a break here, you know, we don't really want price action to move. We kind of want it to break right now, or in the next hour or two, or in London Open. We will have these 200s to contend with. So if we don't tag them, 200 on the 1 hour here as well, if we don't tag them, then, you know, I can't take a trade, obviously, if they're in the way of a one-to-one risk reward on a breakout retest. But, you know, the potential is there. So if we do break and we do tag it, and we come back and retest, i.e. something like this, if I move this here, I mean, maybe. I don't think it's... let's wait and see on this. I don't think it's perfect, but maybe there's something there if it does break with how it's reacting right now, i.e. your hammer here and pushing on. I don't think I get it, but hey, there's nothing wrong with watching it, right? It comes off, I take it off, I move on with my life, it's fine. So we still got UK Brent, as I said, UK Brent from a daily. What I would like to see with this one as well, because we've got our slight doji on the daily here, we need a real catalyst, right? So if we get something like this, a real strong catalyst, then it's maybe something I look at. I'm just wary of this. Still looking at this to come down. Again, you've got to get something significant, you know, a real strong... Maybe we don't even get the volume today because there's not much fundamentally happening. But let's see again. Let's see how this daily closes. If we continue to push up, then I won't be as confident about oil shorts, or certainly not unless it does something like this. If we do get some moves to the upside, possibly something like this we could look at as time goes on. But I just think there's something in that where I don't see the market coming down. However, I could be completely wrong. And finally, Euro Swiss. Euro Swiss. This is another one. This is another one, is it? Well, we are breaking through now. That context was good. I just don't like the weekly. I just don't like the, okay, you've got an in, but I just worry about it. I mean, the other possibility is, this, obviously, or a change of trend, which can happen. But I don't, there's things there that I kind of don't mind. We have that 200 to 10 with. Obviously, we're breaking through. Let's see what price looks like if we get a retest on Euro Swiss. It's not, obviously, I've just kept it on there. If we do something like this, where we get that retest, okay, maybe we can look at it, but I just worry about it. Maybe again, as for me, maybe I should just take it away and not let myself make the decision. But I guess it's sometimes good to see what trades that, or the reasons why, i.e. I put my order in the Euro Swiss was purely because of higher time frames. More so the weekly than the daily, because you can say, well, this is not bad from a daily perspective. I agree with that. This outside bullish engulfer, your digestion in, which we saw with EN as well, right? We saw that with EN, obviously Euro charts, and pushing on. So I do think it goes up. My bias is saying I fancy this to go up. I just can't give myself that grade and take my bias away and say I can't go against that weekly. So discipline. Got to stay disciplined here. And probably the best saying with this is I'd rather be out of it. I'd rather be out of it wishing I was in than in it wishing I was out. Right? That's a good saying to kind of remember. Of if I've got my doubts, and let's say I take it and I get it wrong, right? That feels so much worse, right? Than knowing that yourself and you shouldn't be in that trade and you get it wrong. You're just that leads to frustration and annoyance and not trusting your gut and ultimately not sticking to your plan, right? So I'm gonna take that out. So I'm pretty happy. GN, I feel like this will come down. It is coming down a little bit, but again, London has not opened up yet. Just looking for that extra anchor to move. Oil, I don't believe I will get if it does decide to push. But again, I'm in a very nice position. I don't need to go force things. There's plenty of time. We've seen how quickly things change in this market as per last week. I'm not 100% comfortable. I'm not going to take a trade, and I move on. Morning, Packers. You're actually joining just at the end. I'm just away to go and get my suits made for my brother's wedding. So I've got to hop off and do that. But not much for me today, to be honest with you. In terms of my watch list. Could be a quiet week. Put it this way. Could be a quiet week, which is fine after last. All right, guys, anything you want me to look at before I head off? Any questions you have? So I'd say watch that dollar. I think that's one of the, that'll be interesting to see what happens with the dollar today. Is that 30-minute signaling something here that we're losing momentum in that pullback? I mean, that would probably be my pick in terms of if you're looking at dollar weakness today. I think it wouldn't be a bad strategy. But apart from me, I'll just be off doing that today, yeah. Thanks, mate. Yeah, thanks, mate. I'm still writing my speech. I'm obviously, as I said, I'm best man, so I'm still trying to get. At least I've started that quite early. But 100. I think there'll be over 100 people there, so quite a big wedding. So I need to make sure it's good. Anyway, that's for another day. Right, guys. Have a good day. As I said, quiet week to start off with. We don't need to trade every day. Remember, we do this to have freedom to do other things. You know, that's what we do it for me. I don't know if I'll be doing this years and years to come, but I certainly what I'm talking about is streaming, etc. But in terms of trading, remember what we want is to take 30 minutes, 1 hour of our day and be able to make a decent sum of money so that we are able to do the things that we love, spend time with family, play golf, I don't know, help dogs, whatever. That's what we do it for, and we don't need to be sitting at the charts all day. So it's important to know, important to remember that we're trading to live, not the other way around. Does that make sense? Anyway, cheers, mate. Right, guys, I'll see you all tomorrow. Trade safe. Peace. Prakash, I've just got your message. So I'll go through GJ before I head off. Luckily, I just saw that. GJ? You mean GN? You mean the trade that I'm in, right? This one. GN, right, Prakash? GN or GJ? Let me know. It's good. If you've got questions, let me know, Prakash. It's fine. I wasn't sure if you mean GJ because I'm not in GJ. But if you're talking about GN and my strategy, my stop strategy, I can explain that quickly. I just need to confirm which one you're asking about. Don't worry. Happy to do that. I'm going to presume it's GN. Okay, so I'll just do GN and tell me if I'm wrong. So GN, my second trade. So obviously when I place a trade on breakouts, I've got two orders, right? 50%. So if I've got for example, a one lot position size, I take two trades on 0.5, right? Okay. You're good with GN. I can answer your question, but I just want to know that you understand what I'm doing here. If that was your question, then I'll answer your risk sentiment question. So I'll try to do one at a time. So if you're all good on this, then okay, I'll answer the risk sentiment one. Okay, it's taking some time, so I'll answer the risk sentiment one now, and then I'll do this afterwards. So just one question: risk on currencies, Aussie CAD, Kiwi, similar direction with the SPX. Risk off currencies, Swiss yen, dollar, opposite direction with the SPX. In theory, yes. I mean, well, the US dollar has been slightly different. So prior to this inflation fall, right? The US, it was normally SPX up, US dollar up, right? And the opposite was true, right? We've been seeing SPX up, dollar down. Okay, and that might change going on, but right now that's the kind of correlation we have with the US dollar in the stock market at the moment. However, with your Swiss yen and obviously your commodity currencies, the theory is that if markets push up, i.e., if the S&P is moving up, investors are confident, people are investing in stocks, etc., etc. Those commodity currencies benefit as a result of that. Okay, and when the stock market is going down, people are uncertain. There's worry in the market, whether it be COVID, inflation, etc. They move to these, or they flock to these currencies because low risk and negative interest rates. Right. So, yes, that's true, theory, but theory doesn't always come into practice. We're seeing these, probably Dow theory in terms of your primary trend, secondary trend. So it doesn't always work out that way. But, if you do it 1,000 times, you probably get more. If you're breaking through barriers in terms of your stock market as we are here in the S&P, looking to sell the yen, looking to sell the Swiss, if you start from there, it certainly makes sense. And if you do that consistently over time, yeah, you'd probably see that correlation. So yes. So you just think about in terms of risk on, risk off. That's why you analyze the S&P, right? If we're breaking through barriers, I'm saying here, right, it's a risk on. So yeah, you can be more inclined to look at buying the Aussie, CAD, Kiwi, or NZD, sorry, against the Swiss, yen, dollar. But obviously we add a factor into this with dollar with analyzing the DXY, right? So if we go to Aussie yen, for example, might think about where we've been. We go to the Aussie yen here, and we've obviously had a decent move. And I think, from here, it was a bit of a mess, right? It's a bit of a mess. And okay, we got the break and the good move prior to our break in a significant zone, but the S&P was looking nice. So that's why we do it, right? And the opposite is obviously true, right? Opposite is obviously true. So it's always a good place to start. Now, it doesn't come in form of a checklist for me, but it adds confidence. But if you're analyzing, which I believe you should be, certainly looking at, which I think the S&P and the dollar is the two main ones. Obviously, I look at all these indexes as well, but this is the main one where I get my risk sentiment. And if I got a setup in that Aussie yen, for example, or CAD Swiss upside, and it's risk on, again, it just adds a little bit more confidence. You'd expect those commodities to get stronger as a result of that. Yeah, that makes sense. Did I answer your question there, or not really? There's obviously a delay when I speak and you type because it takes like 10, 20 seconds. But just let me know that you understand, because it's easier for me to talk about it rather than type it into Discord or something. Okay, well, I'm not sure if you're still here, but I'll have to leave it at that. So hopefully let me know in Discord whether I answered your question or not. If you've got anything more, send me a message, put it into the Discord, and I'll answer it tomorrow. That's the easiest thing. So if you type out exactly what you mean, if I didn't answer what you just asked, then I can discuss it on the stream tomorrow. Okay? All right, guys. Take care. Trade safe.